حتى تعانق دمعة الفكر تناجي الله في صبر وترجو رحمة تسري فعاش القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحوم كالطير تحلق في ثقافات وتنهل من ربى الخير.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters and dear friends. Welcome to my channel, Ali Dawah. I'm with brother
Abdurrahman
and
brother Musa Adnan. That rhymes.
He's back. So basically today's topic is going to be about envy and jealousy. How to overcome it. Every single one of us suffer from it. There's no doubt about that. But today's topic is about how we deal with that. So before I start, I want to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most merciful, the most gracious. All praises, glory and gratitude belong to Him. So before I want to go straight to Musa. Musa, have you ever suffered from, well, I'm sure you have, but how do you yourself deal with it? You know, when you are jealous of me, you know, like how do you like deal with it and be like, I want to be handsome like you, you know? I'm joking. I'm just joking, guys. Don't worry, no arrogance, inshallah.
I'm sure they know it's a joke. I mean, look at you. I'm joking. No, astaghfirullah. But whenever I felt like any hint of jealousy or anything like that, what I've done to myself, literally, and wallahi, this is what I've done. When I've just felt a hint of it coming in, like from the shaitan, it's from the shaitan, because I'm sure all of us wish good for each other, in our, you know, from our fitrah. But whenever I felt some sort of jealousy towards someone for having something that I would want or something that I really like, what I like to do is I like to look at what they have, and I force myself to feel happy for them. So I think to myself, Musa, you're not like that. You wish good for people. And you know what? You should be happy that that person's got that. And mashallah, you know, inshallah, one day you'll have it as well, no problem. And I try and force myself, not in a bad way, but I try and like basically put it on myself, feel happy for that person. And alhamdulillah, whenever I do it, it works. I end up feeling happy for that person. And I have a clean heart towards that person. Obviously, it has happened to me in the past where I've been like, yo, that's mad. Like, I want that. But obviously at the end of the day, that's what I try and do. I try and personally just condition myself where when I see someone have something that I want, I just try and think, you know, good of them. And
so before I give it to brother Abu Abdulaziz, basically this is just the way I deal with it, because I'm just going to get this out of the way, so then I'll leave it all to the brothers. So basically the way I deal with it is basically there's 3 ways I've found of effective for me, and maybe you guys should try it as well. When I have any bad thoughts or envy or jealousy about another person, personally I would say, like, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, I would seek refuge in Allah from the cursed shaitan, because these are the waswasas of shaitan. It's to acknowledge yourself that, look, this is not from me, I'm happy, you know. The second thing I do is I say, oh Allah, every time I think bad about this person or envy him and be jealous of him, increase him in rank and increase him in everything that he's got that is better for him. You know, that's the second thing that I do. And the third thing that I do is I try to speak good of this brother in public places and stuff like that, just so it's better for me. It's just a way of dealing with. These are the 3 things that I do, which I find is very effective, you know. So once again, seeking refuge in Allah, making dua to Allah that every time you are envious of him or jealous of that person, that Allah increases that person in rank in this life and the hereafter, and talking good about the brother or sister in a gathering, you know. This is me personally. So please tell us, how do you deal with it?
Wallahi, alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. Shaykh Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah says, nobody is free from jealousy. Yani everybody has it. ولكن اللئيم يبديه والكريم يخفيه. Except for the generous one, the good person, he has that jealousy. But the wicked one, he shows it in apparent. Now if you see something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed your brother with a good job, with a good car, he's someone who's prosperous, make dua to him. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal bless him. Oh Allah Azza wa Jal increase him. For example, if you see Allah Azza wa Jal has given you your friend many kids and she's doing really well, make dua for him. Brother, if you see your friend is really prospering well, his kids are all mashallah very good hafadh, make dua from him. Why? Make dua for him. Why? Because if you make dua for your brother, then angel will make dua for you. The angel will make dua for you. And subhanallah, it's been narrated, the Messenger ﷺ, one day he was in the masjid, and a person entered the masjid, and the Prophet ﷺ said, a person entered this masjid from Ahlul Jannah. He said it for 3 nights. So Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-As radiallahu anhu,
he wanted to know why is this Sahabi in Jannah.
Yeah, and briefly, Abdullah ibn, so did you say?
Abdullah ibn Umar ibn al-As.
Yeah, and he was known to pray, like do everything, the salah. This is a man who would practice the religion to the core. He's surprised of this man's why the Prophet was specifically saying that.
He wanted to know why is he in Jannah.
Yes.
So he said to him, "Oh uncle, I want to spend the night with you."
Yes.
So for 3 nights he was with him,
Yeah.
and he didn't see anything special from his ibadah. Meaning he would pray his salah. It was just basic normal, and his worship was normal. Then he said to him, "Oh uncle, the Messenger ﷺ said you're in Jannah. Why is it that you're in Jannah?" He said, "I don't really know." So Abdullah ibn Umar ibn As, he was disappointed. Then he walked away. He said, come here. Wallah, I don't know nothing except every night before I sleep, I don't have any jealousy, no envy, and no hatred or no grudge in my heart against the believers. He said, Allahu Akbar. This is what made you enter the Jannah. And this thing, we cannot, what's it called again, handle this. It's difficult for us, meaning that, you might not, for example, like you might not have any jealousy in your heart towards somebody, but to give up the grudges, and there's something difficult for us, subhanallah.
How would you say they should, like, what would you say they should concentrate on doing to fight that?
Wallahi, number one is, like I said, making dua for the person, knowing that maybe Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed you with something, He hasn't blessed him. For example, Allah has blessed him with money, but Allah blessed you with health. Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed him with children, but all his children are bad. So look at your blessings.
Yeah, true.
Look at your blessings.
And sometimes what people fall into is they have this misjudgment of other people. Like, let me give you an example. I'll give this example. I'm like, imagine you're walking down the street, your life is not going how you want it to be. Even though we should submit our will to Allah, whatever situation we're in. Imagine you see a guy driving a Range Rover and he's got let's say a pretty woman next to him, yeah? Because this is men, they're like, I want that life. He's got a nice car. Look at the girl next to him. Look at him. He's happy. Why am I not happy? But sometimes we don't understand that imagine you're making a dua. Oh Allah, like I want to be like him. And imagine this same guy has got cancer. He's gonna die in 2 months' time. The woman next to him is his auntie, and the car is rented. So what it does is you're looking at false impression, and you're making dua saying, "Oh Allah, make him like me." SubhanAllah, imagine if your dua's answered, you got cancer. So the thing is, sometimes what we do is we look at other people's life and think it's good, it's all happy days. It's not. Everyone is tested in different ways. But this is why we need to understand that we need to be content within ourselves. Once you find the true happiness within yourself and submit your will to Allah and say, "Oh Allah, whatever you give me, I'm happy with," and you don't live for the people, that's when true happiness hits inside you. And this is a reminder to me first, to be honest, because I'm a victim to this sometimes as well, if I got to be honest. So this is really important. We shouldn't live for other people. And to be honest, guys, I'm just going to ask you guys to wrap it up. It's been, how long has it been? It's been a good 8 minutes. So I would say, any last points that you would want to touch upon?
Wallahi, inshallah, I will say something, inshallah, then I pass over to my brother Musa. Barakallah fikum. Also, another thing is, Prophet ﷺ said, do stuff secretly. For every person that's blessed with something is envied. Meaning that Allah Azza wa Jal, for example, mashallah, you have a happy marriage, or that Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed you with a good job, or you have lots of goodness. Don't tell it to others. Why? Because you could be envied by it. For example, you say, "Oh, mashallah, I have a good wife, I have a good job, my whole life is good," and he's having a miserable life. His wife is getting
that's the thing from Ali ibn Talib. He said, don't speak about having a child, if I'm mistaken, next to a person who can't have a child, or marriage next to a person who doesn't get married. It's about thinking about them. Be understand, like they're going through that struggle and you're rubbing in their face, and you're gonna cause them to like, I want it. They're human beings.
And also the poet says, حسد الفتى إذ لم ينالوا سعيه فالقوم أعداء له وخصومه كذراء الحسناء قلنا لوجهها حسد وبغض إنه لذميم. They envied the boy. Why did they envy the boy? Because they cannot reach his status. This individual, he was more successful than them. Then afterwards, the people, they start to hate him. Why? Because this person, he was more, successful than them. Also, the poet also says, اصبر على كيد الحسود فإن صبرك قاتله. Be patient upon the plot of the envious person, for verily your patience kills him. Just like the fire, it eats itself, if it doesn't have nothing else to eat, subhanallah. Prophet ﷺ said, the disease of the previous nations has come to you. What is it? Al-hasad wal-baghda. Jealousy, envy, and hatred of one another. And also another thing is you have to read your adhkar, your morning and evening reminders from Husn al-Muslim, for brothers to pray your, what's it called again, your Fajr and Jama'ah, so that you protect yourself from the ayn.
Akhi, but check this out, yeah? So I'm looking at this, yeah? I'm like, why do all of these people outside do all of this? Like, why are we normally jealous? Because we feel like what someone else has got, we want it. But you see, one of the things that I learned is that we have to be content with what we have. Because at the end of the day, bro, whatever you have, it's what's best for you. It's what Allah has predestined for you, and that's what's best for you. Honestly speaking. So like, if you haven't got those shoes that you want or anything like that, that's because it's not best for you. It's not something that's good for you.
Divided the provisions.
Yes, of course, 100%. And there's nothing you can do about that. And if you're not content with what you have right now, then you will never be content. Even if you get that Ferrari, you're going to be looking at someone else. You're always going to be looking at other people.
Exactly.
That's what I found myself doing. Because, Akhi, like 5 years ago, the situation that I'm in right now, I would dream to be in. And now, what is it to me? It's nothing. And then in 5 years, the situation that I want to be in 5 years, I'm probably going to be in 5 years. And then I'm probably going to look at the next 5 years.
Self-discipline.
It's like, as human beings, we are never content. We're always looking at something else. It's like, it's that saying, you know that saying? You give the son of Adam a mountain of gold, he'll want another one. And then he'll want another one. It's in our nature. So I feel like what we need to condition ourselves with is to be content with what you have. Wallahi, if you're content with what you have, then you'll find it hard to feel jealous of other people.
So guys, thanks for watching. Inshallah, hope you guys benefited. Do implement what you've heard from us. Till next
Barakallah
time.
fikum. Take care. Sorry, akhi. Stay blessed and stay balanced. Sorry. Stay blessed and stay balanced. Barakallah fikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Don't forget to check out izaha.com.
Akhi, can you give a shout out to Bukhari TV?
We're going to give a shout out to Bukhari TV. Please block them on YouTube. I'm joking. Check out Bukhari TV as well. We'll put the link at the end.
Shoot, what I do.